Borussia Dortmund was the great warrior of the season, reaching the final and showing its worth. Unfortunately, it did not achieve victory against the giant Real Madrid. Dortmund is already planning for the next season, aiming to stay among the top teams in Europe. Borussia is already setting some of its targets, and you will see each of them in this video. Before showing you the possible reinforcements for Borussia Dortmund, let's analyze the squad of the Black and Yellows. We can't imagine that next season Borussia will have a team like Real Madrid, Manchester City, or even Bayern Munich, as these are teams with bigger budgets and are more accustomed to going to the market and spending fortunes. I think that this season they showed that their great asset is not money, but rather the system, organization, and planning, as they managed to go very far without much investment. Along the way, even in the Champions League, they eliminated Atlético Madrid, which always invests a lot, and PSG, which spent fortunes in the last window. Borussia, quietly with many experienced players, went very far. So just because Borussia was a finalist in the Champions League, it doesn't mean that next season the team will be full of stars and expensive signings, as that is not the club's profile. Those who follow Borussia know that the club's profile is to have young players, develop them, and sell them to other powerhouses. Let's start by talking about Borussia's potential reinforcements, mentioning some players who are currently at the club and whom Borussia is working behind the scenes to buy outright, ensuring their stay. These are players who are currently on loan. I'll begin with the defensive system, where Borussia is fighting to secure the permanent transfer of left-back Ian Maatsen. Maatsen is only 22 years old, belongs to Chelsea, and is on loan to Dortmund until the end of the season. He has a contract with Chelsea until 2026. He arrived recently in the January window and has been showing great performance. He is a strong and fast left-back who supports the attack well, has patience for crossing, and above all, is a good defender. He proved this especially against PSG, nullifying their right side, which featured Dembélé and Hakimi. Since his arrival at Dortmund, he has 3 goals and 2 assists in 22 games. It is speculated that if Dortmund really wants to sign him permanently, they will have to shell out at least 35 million euros. Another player that Borussia really wants to stay permanently is the English forward Jadon Sancho. Sancho was a star for Borussia Dortmund in the past, in 2019-2020, but ended up being transferred to Manchester United, where he never quite lived up to expectations. With no room and after clashing with coach Erik ten Hag, he was loaned to Dortmund in January, and his arrival was crucial for Borussia to reach the Champions League final. He made life difficult for Nuno Mendes in the semifinals, plays a lot of football, holds up play when needed, draws fouls, and is very skillful. So just like in Maatsen's case, Borussia wants Sancho to stay, especially if Erik ten Hag remains at United next season. He is unlikely to want to bring Sancho back. Sancho is only 24 years old, and since his return to Borussia, has 3 goals and 3 assists in 20 games. He is a big bet for Borussia in the final. Now, I want to talk about a player that many may not know, but who is already signed by Borussia Dortmund. This player is the Ecuadorian midfielder, Justin Lerma. Lerma is only 16 years old and is considered a gem of Independiente del Valle and Ecuadorian football in general. He is a very skillful midfielder with easy dribbling and great acceleration. Dortmund has already secured his signing, but there is a rule in South America that players bought while still underage must wait until they turn 18 to move to Europe. A well-known example is Endrick, who is only going to Real Madrid now because he will be turning 18. The same will happen with Lerma. He will only join Borussia Dortmund from 2026 onwards, continuing at Independiente until then. For the midfield, there's a player Borussia is already planning to sign for the next season, English midfielder Jobe Bellingham. The name might sound familiar because Jobe Bellingham is the brother of Jude Bellingham, who used to play for Dortmund and will now reunite with his former club playing for Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Jobe is only 18 years old, currently playing for Sunderland, and had a very good season, his first for Sunderland, with 7 goals and 1 assist in 47 games. The Portal Football Insider reported that Borussia is eyeing his signing for the next season and wants to do with him what they did with his brother: sign him and gradually develop him. Another player who has caught Borussia's interest since 2023 is the French forward Michael Olise, who has been shining this Premier League season playing for Crystal Palace. This season, he has played 19 games, scored 10 goals, and provided 6 assists. It's worth noting that he is not a center forward. To score so many goals, he plays as a left-footed winger who operates from the right. Borussia is eyeing his signing in case they can't retain Sancho permanently. Sky Sports revealed Dortmund's interest in Olise, who has been on the club's radar since 2023. If Dortmund signs him, they probably won't spend a huge amount and will still have the opportunity to develop him further. The player who, according to the French newspaper L'Équipe, is Borussia Dortmund's top target for the next season, is PSG's forward Randal Kolo Muani, aged 25. He joined PSG this season after standing out in Germany while playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, and is a player that Borussia's board is familiar with. He arrived at PSG for nearly 100 million euros, but has yet to deliver as expected, as it's challenging to shine in an attack that features Mbappe. He is under contract with PSG until 2028, and if Dortmund wants to sign him, they will have to pay a high fee. This season, Kolo Muani has scored 9 goals and provided 6 assists in 40 games for PSG. L'Équipe reports that Dortmund is targeting his signing to make him the new goal-scoring figure for the team. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. With the stay of Maatsen and Sancho, and considering potential signings like Michael Olise and Joe Bellingham, do you think Dortmund can stay strong next season? What's your opinion? Don't forget to leave your comment so we can have a chat.